each year. That's economists saying that. China doesn't pay the tariffs, you pay the tariffs. No more than Mexico didn't pay for a damn wall that he didn't build anyway. Look, we know he kept his word on this. He took his wealthy donors down to Mar-a-Lago and he promised them, because I've said this, Donald Trump never keeps his word. That's not true. He does sometimes. He took those wealthy donors down to Mar-a-Lago and he said, you're rich as hell and I'm going to give you a tax cut. He did it. He did it. He followed through. He also became, as he himself said, the king of debt and drove up the national debt $8 trillion more than any president in U.S. history. So be very clear. This guy knows nothing about business except how to go bankrupt. He knows nothing about paying his bills, and he knows nothing about the middle class. Now, guys like Blaine, us, and I think there's probably some of you here that are the same place of this. The Republican Party of old contributed much to this country. When the Republican Party of old talked about freedom, they meant it. That's not these guys. That's not these guys. These guys mean that government should be free to be in your exam room with your doctor. They talk about small government, apparently small enough to fit in your bedroom with the people you're there with, or in your library to tell you what to read. Look, I use this, and you've heard me say this, I got this from my friends in Valentine and Butte and Alliance, places where I live. We respect our neighbors' choices. We don't have to agree with them. You do you, I'll do me. That's the thing we do. And look, there's that golden rule, do unto others. That's a good golden rule. I have an addendum to that too, that there's a second golden rule, mind your own damn business with it. Goes with it. Somebody said, you think Donald Trump knows the golden rule? And I said, yes, those are the instructions he gave to his interior designer for his gold toilet or whatever the hell he put in. So yes, he knows the golden rule. Look, when Kamala Harris and I and the folks here talk about freedom, we mean you should be free to live your life the way you choose. Your choice about your own healthcare decisions, about your own families. The freedom for seniors to retire with dignity by strengthening Social Security and Medicare. And for all of us here, and those who have little ones, and those who have grandkids, and just those that are just basic, decent human beings, the freedom to send our little ones dressed in their finest clothes off to a school to meet with a teacher and to be there and learn, the freedom to do that without being shot dead in their classroom. That's what freedom is. And this is Nebraska and the folks who are here, and I know, look, I know and you know, we know guns. I'm a veteran, I'm a hunter. Kamala's a gun owner too at the same time. Owning guns doesn't mean we can't be for common sense solutions to protect our children. It doesn't mean that. You can uphold the Second Amendment while upholding our primary responsibility, the safety of our children and our neighbors. You can do both. And this is where you take the notes for that family member that's not sure where they're voting. Isn't it interesting how both members of the Democratic ticket are gun owners this year? But the guy on the Republican ticket can't pass a background check to get one. You know the 34 felonies that come up on the background check, they send you right out of Cabela's when that comes up, to be sure about that. So, all right. Well, look, I'm gonna speak to part of the audience here. I'm gonna speak to the men on this one because we're going. And there's a lot of you here. Look, all of you, for the women in your life that you love, your wives, your daughters, your mothers, your friends, all of them. Literally, their lives are on the line in this election, guys. That's what's on the line. Donald Trump appointed his Supreme Court justices who did exactly what he told them to do. They repealed the protections of Roe versus Wade, and he brags about it. He is glad that my daughter, your daughters, our wives have fewer rights than their mothers and grandmothers had. He brags about it. 20 states, including right here, now have the Trump abortion bans. He calls that a beautiful thing. A beautiful thing. You're seeing it. You're seeing it all over. Women being denied care at the ER, having miscarriages in parking lots. Survivors of rape, Hadley Duvall. These are women's names that should have never been known by Americans because it's nobody's damn business about what they're doing with their health care. But we now know them. The bravery of Hadley Duvall to stand up and say when she was 12 years old, a child, raped and impregnated by her stepfather. And they told her, and J.D. Vance said, that there should be no exceptions for rape or incest because he said, 2 wrongs don't make a right. There is not one damn thing right of what happened to Hadley Duvall, and what they're doing makes it so much worse. So look, to the men here, it's bigger than that. These are the guys in Project 2025. They want to control from contraception to fertility clinics. Fertility clinics that in states are now trying to close and turn couples away. Couples that simply want to have a family and use those services. And I said, this is personal for me. Again, you don't need to hear about my personal stuff, but my wife and I have talked about it. For years, we tried to have children, and it was because we could use fertility treatments that we have our beautiful family. And I'll be damned if any politician, especially Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, should have any damn say about your family and your access to fertility treatments. So look, when we take this Congress, when Kamala Harris is president and they send over a bill recodifying Roe versus Wade, the protection of women to make their own decisions over their own bodies, Kamala Harris will sign it into law. Look, I think we got to know, and I get this. We have 17 days, and I know in this amphitheater, I'm preaching to the choir, but folks, our recital is 17 days away. And we need to sing loudly. So it's important to know what's on the other side. If Donald Trump would be elected again, he would have the opportunity to appoint either 2 or 3 more Supreme Court justices during the next 4 years. This is a group of folks who already told Donald Trump, you have immunity to do whatever the hell you want to do. These are the folks that will be making decisions about the laws and this country for our children's and grandchildren's lifetime. They would have 6 of the 9 Supreme Court justices, and they would have no accountability over Donald Trump. And look, I know that's not the future you want for your family. It's not the one. So look, there's a solution. You and everyone you know vote for Kamala Harris, and none of that will happen. None of it. We're not going back. Look, there's plenty of reasons that the stakes in this election are really high, but let me give you one more. Some of you might have heard, and look, people are overwhelmed by this. And I run into people who say, look, I'm just not that into politics. I'm tired of it. Well, too damn bad. Politics is into you. So, and some of these folks say, we got through one Trump term, and they rewrite the history of it. They don't recall that all of our neighbors were dying of COVID because his idiocy of neglecting science and telling us to inject bleach didn't do us much good. But I got to tell you this. They tell us we could survive another 4 years. I'm an optimist, and some of you have heard me say this. You don't survive the lunchroom for all those years without being an optimist. I am an optimist. But I truly don't know if the institutions will hold if we get another 4 years of Donald Trump. I genuinely don't believe it. And I say this because something has happened over the last few weeks that is unprecedented in our history. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the top military officer in this country, a decorated veteran, General Mark Milley, top military, he didn't mince words. He told us on the record that Donald Trump, and this is a direct quote, is fascist to the core and the most dangerous person that America has ever faced. This guy's not a Democrat, people. He's a lifelong military officer who served this country. And this week, James Mattis, Trump's own Secretary of Defense, endorsed that very view. He said Donald Trump, these folks, his chief of staff, John Kelly, another four-star general, said Donald Trump was the most damaged person he'd ever met in his life. So Trump's plan is to seize unprecedented power for himself with a Supreme Court that give him the right to do that. It's not hypothetical. Once again, I got to give credit to this. I said Donald Trump has no plan, not just a concept of a plan. He has an actual plan. It's Project 2025. And it's coming right from their mouths. They're talking about this. This one I have to tell you. Some of you might know who this guy is. He was Trump's national security advisor for a short time. His name was Mike Flynn. Trump has said, some of you don't know, I hate to encourage you to go look this guy up, but it's important to know. Trump said he would have a top role in the next White House. This last week, Mike Flynn was asked, think about this, this is America, this is not some fictional place. He was asked if he would lead military tribunals to carry out executions against those who are against Donald Trump if Trump were to win. That's what he was asked. So, America, the answer to that is, are you out of your goddamn mind? But no. Mike Flynn's answer was, we have to win first. That's the guy he wants to give the key. Because look in mind, you know who he's talking about? He's talking about me. But don't kid yourself about this. When they're done with me, he's talking about you. That's what they're talking about. Because you had the audacity as an American to come and express your political views in a safe and nonviolent manner that is in the best tradition of who we are, and countless people fought and gave their lives for us to be able to do this. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I'll be damned if I'll give the flags to a fascist like these guys. And I'll be damned if I'll give them family issues, because we know where the family values set. We're not going to give them freedom, that's for damn sure, because we know what freedom looks like. And just for good measures, I'm not giving them football, the posers, because they don't know crap. Look, the Donald Trump of 2016 is not the Donald Trump that's running now. He is far more unfit than he was in 2016. He's more deranged. He's more desperate to keep his butt out of prison than he was in 2016. And he has made sure there's no guardrails. When I asked J.D. Vance a simple question in debate, did Donald Trump lose the election? He wouldn't answer it. He answered it this week. He said, no, he didn't lose the election. So just to be very clear, if J.D. Vance had been sitting where Mike Pence was sitting, they would have overthrown the elected government of the United States. There's a word for that. It's called traitor, just so we know. There's a word for that. And you know it here, and Tony Vargas knows it. God knows the spineless Republicans in Congress won't do a damn thing to stop him from doing whatever he wants. So look, you know it. There's one way we stop this from happening. You came here. We came here with the courage. Democrats, independents, Republicans across this state. Think about it. Think about it. You tell me how bad Donald Trump is, that he brought Bernie Sanders, Dick Cheney, and for Christ's sakes, Taylor Swift onto the same ticket, on the same ticket. So look, folks, We do this the right way. We do it the American way. We get organized, we make the phone calls, we do the door knocks, we knock, and we clean his clock on election day and win this thing. That's how you do it. So 17 days, folks, and this thing's close. We're still the underdogs. It's still a race, but we're leaving it all on the field. Return your mail ballot today if you have one. Don't wait. You can vote early at your county election office, Monday through Friday. Be sure to bring a photo ID, Nebraskans. If you're not registered, you have until October 25th. You can register in person. You can vote at the same time. If you want more, iwillvote.com/NE. So tell your neighbors, get them out there. Look, we need to door knock. We need to phone call. 1 or 2 extra votes per precinct could make a difference, and you know that. I know we ask much. If you got a little, you can go to kamalaharris.com, pitch in $1 or $2, and to know what that does, that puts buses at polling stations to take people to vote. It puts another door knocker out on the door. It runs one more ad on Facebook, wherever it might be, to get out this positive message about a new way forward. We can do that. And I have to tell you, I think all of you know this. This thing is going to be close. The blue wall is going to hold across the north of America, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Minnesota. But you do the math, Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, the rest of the states, 269. 1 dot makes the difference. Look. Blue dot. Look, you're inspiring the rest of the country. It's because you believe in democracy. You believe in freedom. You believe it's done. We're going to end this thing on the right thing. The vice, she talks about when we fight, when we vote. Omaha put us over the top. Let's go.